Hello everyone, welcome back to another edition of West Ham Fan TV's Post-Match Pint, the only West Ham United post-match football show on the internet. We've just come back from the London Stadium. It was obviously West Ham United 0, Wolves 1. Another loss, mate, and a bad one as well. Go through the starting lineup for me, please.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Me. All right. Fabianski in goal. Creswell left back. Obiang, Diop and Balbuena as the centre backs. Right back Fredericks. Wilshere in the middle with Sanchez. Then you had Anderson. I think he was on the left wing, and then you had Antonio on the right wing.
I think he started in the middle.
Did he start in the middle?
Yeah, he definitely started.
He ended up on the left. And then obviously we had Natovic up front. Then who started on the left then?
Snodgrass.
Snodgrass, that is it, Snodgrass, yeah.
Snoddy Snod. Snoop Snoddy Snod.
And that's it, that's who we started with.
To be honest with you, mate, these shows, I've been doing these shows for just over 3 years now. They just don't get any easier. And this, again,
I like doing them during the bowling season.
yeah, it was brilliant. But they ever since we've moved into this London Stadium, they're not been fun to do. But today was just a shambles. It was a shambles again. And this,
disappointing. I mean, I always thought it was going to be tough. I didn't think it was going to be easy as some people made it out, but I said, didn't I, that we always seem to struggle against newly promoted teams.
Did you see Wolves last week against Man City? Wolves running.
I did, Graham, I did.
That should have been a warning.
But the thing is,
That's exactly why I said what I said.
Yes, you did.
it's just the same story of like not fucking just no end product. Do you know what I mean? Getting the ball down there and not finishing the chance.
we ain't got a clue what
The
to do.
problem was today, there was just we got the ball so slow moving the ball. I mean, Wolves had that middle sewn up. They just compacted the middle. There was no way through the middle.
We started off well.
I'll be honest with you, I
We
think
had that chance right at the beginning, didn't we?
in terms of possession and things, I think it was quite an even game.
Yeah, it was end to end, wasn't it?
But you wouldn't think we was the home team. You know what I mean? Like we went out there again. We set up exactly the same as we did against Arsenal. I'm gonna give a couple of bits of praise where praise is due because I think Diop was brilliant.
Yeah, both of them were.
Balbuena was
I think
brilliant.
they've got a good centre-back pairing there, and I think Creswell sort of improved on, not so much on Masuaku, but the defending side of it he did. I thought we had a good game today, Creswell. Seeing as it's his first game back, Premier League.
I tend to disagree there because for the second half,
The only
forward
thing that
than Anderson, and I didn't understand that.
he had to be. He had to
No one
be.
else was doing it.
No one else was doing it. This is what I'm saying. Anderson is so used to coming inside. He wants to play in the middle. You can tell he wants to play in the middle. There's no doubt about that. He wants to play in the middle, and that's why he keeps dropping back and sort of going in the centre. And Creswell was overlapping. The only thing that let Creswell down is his final ball. It's the only thing that lets him down.
At times. Some of that crossing. Not their crossing.
Decent balls. There was no one take the gamble.
You're gonna have to use your outdoor voice, noisy
Big boy
voice.
voice.
Yeah.
You know, I thought Snodgrass put a couple of decent
Oh, not
balls
too
in, but
loud,
there was
Gray,
no
you're
one
taking the mick.
taking a gamble to get in the box on the end of them.
We're very static, do you know what I mean? There's a ball there, the players just don't move to get into the right
It
position.
reminded me
defending or attacking.
of the last season. It reminded me a lot last season. You play all these players, and we're playing exactly the same way. We're passing the ball into someone. I was saying to him, we never like good teams, right? They pass the ball to someone, and they're always 4 or 5 moves in front. They know where runners are going. They know, they're always thinking 5 moves. We just look like we pass the ball, and they just watch and just hope that someone does something with it. That's, you know what I mean?
Someone else do it.
Yeah, we've never got that. You know, players are never thinking, right, if he receives the ball there, I'm going to shoot it. That's what makes professional football. Otherwise, you might as well go and watch a Sunday fucking team.
There was a time when I see Antonio cutting in the middle near the box, and he's calling, he's like, put it there. And the geezer, I can't remember who it was Anderson, just ignores him. And he steps and he stops and he watches. And it's like, so there seems to be like disjointed.
No one hugs the touch.
No, the thing is for me with Antonio is that he is a decent player, but he's just lost so much confidence, isn't he? It's like he don't want to take people on no more, and he's got so much pace. He's just not the same player, is he? He's not the same player, and it's a shame. And
Antonio.
yeah, Antonio, and I think today it shows how much we actually miss Lanzini. I didn't think we was going to miss him as much. He's an important player, but I thought with the quality we signed, But I just think we need him back as soon as possible because he would be making them sort of runs. And there's another thing as well with Jack Wilshere. He got slated off on the fan cams, which I thought was a little bit unfair. But then why take him off when you're bringing in Hernandez because Hernandez feeds off of players like Jack Wilshere, and you're taking that sort of player off. Jack Wilshere didn't have a great game today, but he still can make something happen.
Shit, you can't say shit.
No, I never said he was shit.
No, I'm saying there are people that were saying
but
shit.
the thing is with like Chicharito, he don't look. He looks isolated up there. He's got nothing up there, and he's looking for these runs. And Arnautovic for me today was probably one of the poorest games I've seen him play. But he's still one of our better players.
But I was saying to Dan, you can't always rely on him. He has good game after good game after good game, and he's entitled to have a bad game because other people should be pulling their
He had
fingers.
an absolute shocker. It just
No, do you know what it was? Do you know what made him look like in a poor game? Because he was coming back, tracking back, trying to do the work that other people weren't doing.
There was one point he picked the ball up and had right back.
I know.
He's carting the ball up. He
Yeah,
should be up there getting it.
But that's what I'm saying. He was the one putting a lot of crosses in. His crosses were shit, but he shouldn't be putting
I'll tell you what,
them. He shouldn't
mate.
be on the end of them. Yeah.
If we'd have, if Andy Carroll was playing, they would be top of the league. We put the ball in, and no one's there. We're putting the ball in. Sometimes they're not even looking up; they're just throwing it in now and hoping that someone's going to be there. That's the difference.
I was watching at times when Wolves were attacking. It
Big
looked
boy
like, it
voice.
looked like they were playing 3-2-5. They had people just.
Well, I
bombing on.
think-
And we had like one player in the box.
I know someone has to get dropped in the midfield, but I think we've got to go back to basics. I think we've got to go back to 3-5-2, three centre backs and 2 wing backs, because we are struggling at the back. We're struggling. Fabianski, once again, he had a great game, but he's on the losing team again. He don't deserve to be
He
on the
pulled
losing
off a
team.
fantastic
He
save.
pulled off their goalkeeper as well. Pulled off a great save.
Well, yeah, with his face.
I said to you, didn't I? About 10 minutes ago, I said this is going to be 1-0 either way. We missed a chance with Arnautovic, and then they went up there and scored. That's the difference in Premier League. You take your chances, and Wolves have come here today, and they're taking it. And the one thing with the London Stadium is so many teams come here and they just have free roll of the pitch. I know we're not at the bowling no more, but back in the day, teams used to be scared to play at the bowling. Now they come here and they just turn us over with ease. Well, if Wolves would have had their finishing boots on today, that'd have been 2 or 3-0, without a doubt.
They scuffed one on the
Yeah,
line.
if we was playing Man City today, or a top, I'm not saying Wolves ain't a top team, so before I get slated, but I'm saying if we'd have been playing like a Man City, that could have been a cricket score today.
The thing is, they had a few moments in the first half of their shooting boots and they put them wide. It could have been 2-3 first half.
The thing is with Arnautovic as well, his last season under Moyes, he seemed to have that free role, didn't he? He seems to not have that under Pellegrini.
A bit more rigid.
Yeah, I think that's because he's trying to fit players like Anderson in and Hernandez as well. I mean, you didn't think Snodgrass had a good game. I thought he weren't that bad. I've seen
I
worse.
just think he's half yard off everyone.
That's the thing.
I think every player's half a yard
The
off.
thing with Snodgrass, and I see it time again, he works his arse off, which is admirable, but he just lacks that bit of quality, doesn't he? And every time.
Do you think he'd be better as an impact sub?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't like to say, I
He'd
thought
be an
we put a
impact.
couple of decent crosses in it. They just no one getting in the end.
That's what I'm saying. We've got no one in the box. You can hit them in there all day long, but if you've got no one in there, their keeper's going to come and get it.
Like, first half, there was a few that we put across the 6-yard box. You think, Chicharito's on there. He'll thrive on that.
Well, then he
as
needs
soon as
to be
come on, we
starting.
stop doing it.
He needs to be starting because when he comes on, he don't seem to get into the game. How can Hernandez get into a game and get up running when there's 15 minutes left?
There's no time to do anything.
No.
He needs loads
But
of
this is
chances.
where Pellegrini. This is why Pellegrini gets paid millions because he's got to make these decisions and he's got to start. You can't. It's 4 games in, and he still don't know his best team.
I don't know why we didn't just stick with what we did
Masawaku
against
weren't even
Arsenal.
in the squad today. He's not injured.
He's played every game.
So what? Is he just dropping him like?
Well, we've seen that a few times, didn't he? He just drops people out of the squad completely. Don't even put them on the bench.
We've
Like.
got a lot of players, to fit in.
But then who would we have, if Cresswell went off injured, then what would we have done? Dropped Anderson back at left back? What?
This is the thing as well. Like we had a lot of people on fan cam saying about Mark Noble. We should have played Mark Noble. But then when he plays, they're the first to slate
Yeah,
him.
he gets slated.
So
He can't win.
no, this is what I'm saying. Oh, Mark Noble would have had the heart on the pitch. Yeah, but when he's
He
on the
should have come on
pitch, you
as a
slate
sub
him. Yeah, he
today.
should. Me personally, I'd have started him. I would have started Mark Noble today. I would have, because we needed that extra bit. Jack Wilshere's not going to get stuck in because of his injuries, and you can't. You sort of can expect that. But then there's no tough tackler in there. Obiang come on, he don't really put it about. Sanchez, listen, up until the end when he made that mistake, I thought he was having a decent game. But once again, he's another player that it don't look like he wants to get stuck in.
Yeah. I mean, to go and give the ball away in the middle, he just rushed off the ball, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think there was a few of them today, Graham. I just think there's something wrong there. I think the mentality is wrong.
It's disappointing.
It's, you know, I mean, there's obviously some sort of like core of this because this is the third manager this is happening under the league.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People, and these are new signings as well. So there's something desperately wrong there. I don't know whether it's the training. I don't know whether it's the training pitch. I don't know whether I can't put a finger on it.
You can't blame the London Stadium anymore. You can't blame the board. They've given us a manager. They've given us money. You can't. People say, "Oh, it's not fit for football." Listen, there's 2 goals and there's grass there. That's fit to play football.
Well, it's fit for the opposition,
Yeah,
isn't it?
the opposition seem to come there and take the piss. So we just need to get. Like, I thought the Wimbledon game. I know there was going to be a lot of changes, but just getting a win at Wimbledon would have given the club a boost. And we could have come here today. You know, even if we'd have nicked a scrappy 1-0 win, we go into that international break and
Even a 0-0,
yeah.
first point.
Oh, listen, I got to that last 5 minutes. I'm thinking I'm happy with a point after the chances they missed, and then to lose it like that it's gutting. It's gutting.
Have they made mistakes in the transfer window? Because we've signed attacking players, but we haven't signed a centre forward.
No, but the thing is, a couple of weeks
Really?
ago, when we done the preview.
But we signed Perez. didn't we?
Hindsight's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that, but
We were so positive.
We were saying,
Yeah.
we've had a great win. We've done
Yeah,
well.
we have had a
No,
great
we've had a great win.
We have
We
had
have
a
No,
great
but it's
win.
like, did we miss out? Did we miss a beat in certain? I think we signed Perez. A lot of us were happy with Perez.
But you know, we sign
But if
100
he's
million.
not getting a chance,
he needs a decent run.
what
in
can
the
he do?
team.
But I'm just saying, like, we sign £100 million worth of players, attacking players that we need in positions that we need. It just shows you how desperately thin they let our squad get. I still don't think
We've
we've
had
got
to
enough.
have that big rebuild. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've had to do that.
The squad is apart from Reed, Lanzini, and Carroll, everyone's fully fit. So we've got a strong enough squad. It's just, I think he's trying to fit too many players just to please them into get them in the team. And sometimes you just got to say, like, look, if Anderson's had a bad game, drop him.
But at the same time, he doesn't seem scared to drop people, does he? Because there's times where
He
Fredericks
doesn't
was
seem
dropped
scared
out
to
of the
drop
thing.
the regulars that was with us last year, but I haven't seen Anderson go yet.
Well,
and I
it's
haven't seen-
interesting as well because you say that because Fredericks was dropped out of the team, but Fredericks was someone who I don't think was a Pellegrini signing because we identified him before we was looking at him in January. So it's you might be right on that because
As he said, we know how to play 3-5-2. I've got a feeling that the reason he isn't converted to 3-5-2 is because he spent 60 million, 70 million pound on wingers.
Yeah, but I think everyone at the club, the fans, the board, even Pellegrini would. If you got to drop your record signings and you're winning games, that's all that matters. He's winning games. Just because Anderson might not be happy because he's on the bench. You know, I'm not saying we should drop Anderson. I'm not just picking on Anderson, but I'm just picking a name out of all the signings. Like, even Jack Wilshere, if he's got to be dropped, drop him. Fredericks, he was dropped after Anfield.
you guys say about the 3-5-2. I think with Pellegrini, he's identified a way he wants to play, and he's saying, look, it might take a while for you guys to adapt to it and get used to it. But think about it, for these guys to get used to playing his system in this high press and high line, you've got to keep playing to it. You've got to keep playing.
I think we're quite lucky that other teams sort of just above us haven't pulled away. I mean, Palace lost again today.
We're 4 games in.
Yeah, we're 4 games in. This is why it's a bit. I don't want to seem too negative. If it was Christmas and we had no points, I'll be like rope round now. I'll be shitting myself basically. But you can't.
Palace lost their first 8.
Palace lost. Palace finished above us and they lost their first 7. Didn't score in their first 7. So the signs are there that we can, but I think Everton away is a bogey game. Chelsea, mate, they're the sort of games West Ham turn up and win, and then we'll all be doing the conga around the fucking London stadium.
It's just worrying because there's so many good teams in there now. Even the teams that have come up, they've all strengthened. We haven't done anything significant that other people ain't done. If you know
the thing
what I mean.
is, I think
Fulham spent more than us.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think out of every team in the league, we're the one that have changed the most, right? We've got a new manager, and we've got shitloads of new players, and we've got a new way of playing.
But that's what
Fulham's
everyone
had a lot
wanted
of players,
it.
but they've got the same man. No, but that's what I'm saying. We've made the most changes. We're going through the biggest transition out of every other team in the league. So it might take longer for us. Like I said, said, Fulham signed a lot of players, but they've got the same manager, so they have some consistency. Where we've got loads of players and a new manager.
Good managers know how to, when it ain't working, change it. I didn't see Harry. I mean, Yarmolenko come on today.
He looked quite. He was lively.
Yeah, but what did he offer? What did he offer?
Yeah, I thought he was.
All I
quite-
see
I
him
thought he
do was
quite poor
spin
today.
around.
Yeah, but then
Do you know what it is? There's a lot of,
no one was moving. Were they? We were very static.
Yeah, but
it's the mentality. There's a lot of the decision making. I find is a big problem where there's a player and you got like if you passed it there, then that player's on, and they'll
I think Obiang was the wrong choice to come on as well. He didn't really offer much.
But the thing is, I was surprised because he was really poor against Wimbledon to the point he got dragged off early. But I thought he was better
Noble
today than he was
sitting
against
there.
Wimbledon.
Yeah, you don't know. Well, you could
Well, I
say.
thought when I say Noble,
We seem to be.
coming on.
But the thing is, Gray, we seem to be lacking a bit of leadership. Noble's sitting on the bench and he leaves him on the bench. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But you gotta put faith in him.
But this is the thing. I want to mention I've seen quite a few people talk about Pellegrini out already, and I think that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. To talk about sacking the manager 4 games in because we've lost. Like
The thing is, one thing I would say is that Palace sacked the Boer after 8 games last year.
Less than that, I think it was.
No, still 7, 8 games, wasn't it? And they sacked. I don't want Pellegrini sacked. But then,
Say 4 games in.
if it's not working, if you're still around the bottom at Christmas, you have to make that decision.
no, yeah, Christmas. That's what I'm. Yeah, Christmas time we look at. It. But De Boer, there's nothing to say whether De Boer wouldn't have gone on and made Palace a decent side. Like they pulled the trigger quite early, and we've got to give Pellegrini some time. You have to, because look at everyone talks about the example of Alex Ferguson, right? Which is obviously the prime example of a manager who done shit. Like people were calling for his head when he started. You gave him time, and he went on and built a great legacy.
Nowadays, it's all about the quick fix.
This is the problem, isn't
They
it?
don't get that time anymore.
If you keep sacking managers and keep getting new managers in, you never get that stability to
I think
build
you get that
on.
little quick fix most of the time, and that little.
It's a short-term boost, isn't
Yeah.
it? But you never get that long-term stability. You can't build on it, can you? You can't like other teams have got where they have the same manager and they can build.
New Burnley's an example. They got relegated. They kept Dyche, brought them up, got them into Europe.
Exactly. They could have. When they got relegated, they could have sacked Dyche,
But they didn't. They
Yeah.
gave him because that year, the first year they was up,
That's-
they didn't have
that's
a lot of
what-
money to spend.
Like I said earlier, that's
The
what worries
stability,
me,
They
is
kept
that
him for the stability.
We're four games in and he still don't really know his best team. Surely now you know.
We should do, but
I mean, next at Everton, you probably won't see Fredericks. You'll probably see Zabaleta back, and then you'll see Masuaku back. It's just, you can't keep changing it. You just got to stick with your team.
yeah. Sorry, I'm just checking the time.
That's all right, mate.
Yeah, you got to stick with your team.
No, yeah, you got to stick. You got to stick with your team in you, and hopefully you get a win. You get even if. Say we go and get a scrappy win at Everton, everyone will be buzzing. You come home, then we play Chelsea at home, and we beat them last season. They're a team that can be beaten. And Man United are not Man United anymore, are they? They're not the Man United of old.
And we was not in a great position when we beat Chelsea last season, was we? Like obviously we got battered by.
We ain't been
Everton
in a
away.
good position since we left the boat in. We've always been round the
yeah.
bottom, haven't we?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, just. I mean, we're all disappointed, obviously, because we've lost at home. But what do you do now?
I don't think there's much to say today.
No, I thought Wolves
Yeah,
play
they
well.
deserved it. They deserved the
Yeah,
game.
they play
I
well.
was
And
very impressed with Wolves. They were.
I'm impressed with them anyway. I like some of their players, and
Traore
I like their manager as well. I think he's a good manager.
Say when Traore.
Yeah, we will, but we
he
were
was-
linked with him, weren't
He was
we?
causing all sorts
Yeah.
of problems. Traore when he came.
Traore's a good player. He ripped. I know we beat Middlesbrough 3-1 up there, but I remember that day. Do you know? He ripped us apart. I mean, used to were up there. And,
Say if his final ball was better, we could have been on the wrong end of it.
but
his final ball was decent
do
today.
you think that like, sorry, go on. You know, Andy Carroll. You know, they're looking at him an early return. Do you think we need a player like him now?
I don't know.
I mean, would you if he was fully fit now, would you be starting him?
Well, you give him a run, yeah. You give him a run. See how I'd bring him off the bench a few times. See how it does. But this is the thing. Like we always look to Andy Carroll, didn't we, to bail us out. He comes back for a little bit, and everyone thinks he's shit.
Do you know, it was six years ago today that we signed him. When he scored when he played against Fulham.
I'm gonna make a prediction. Then by the end of this season, Javier Hernandez will be playing in the MLS.
That's it.
Yeah, I think he's done. I think he's
I
shot.
think Hernandez, I mean, I see an interview of him the other day and he seems happy at the club, but he's not going to sit on the bench for long. He done it last season. He probably would have gone in the summer if it wasn't for Pellegrini. Just needs to. He needs to get. I don't know whether he's worth a start though. This is the problem.
He was so poor against Wimbledon, right? He was, even though he scored.
But the thing is, right? You say that against Wimbledon. I mean, you were there. I watched it on Sky. I mean, when I see people, you must have had a really bad view because I thought we played all right against Wimbledon. Hernandez, it was just his finishing. His runs and the runs he was making was of the old Hernandez. Yarmolenko could have had a hat-trick. We could have won that game 7-8-1.
That's why everyone was so frustrated because of our final product against Wimbledon, right? And this is the problem with Hernandez, and I said it to Mick. Every time he'd received the ball, he had his back to goal.
He's looking to spin. That's what he's always done. He's got a career off.
But by the time he tries to turn around, he's already been tackled. Rather, where he's facing the goal and he can do a tap-in, you know what I mean? We score a goal. Like,
I just think we go into this international break now. I wouldn't give the players any time off. The players that go away, obviously, for international duty, I'd keep all the other players here and I'd get on working.
There ain't many, mate, that go for international duty.
No, but I don't know if people. I don't know who's. But I know England and all that. But
Anderson,
I don't know if Mexico's playing.
Ain't international.
No, I know that. That's why I'm saying he needs
Snodgrass?
to. He needs to work with them.
Maybe.
No, but Snodgrass turned down the chance of a call.
oh yeah, no, he has, yeah.
Because he wants to play. He wants to concentrate on playing for West Ham. And,
I really like him, but
yeah, he's
he's a player. He's too good for the Championship, but he's not quite good enough for the Premier League. That's just the problem.
He's like Colton Cole, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's like Colton Cole. You want him to do well, you know, and you can see that.
I'd say last year I think he was a little bit of a scapegoat.
Yeah, of course he was. Of course he was.
Well, I don't think there's much to say. Should we wrap it up there?
Yeah, I mean, one thing, I just want to ask, you mentioned about leaders and that. There's talk about James Collins being signed on a 6-month deal for the rest of the season. Would you?
Not
Should have
for
kept
me.
it. If you're going to keep him on.
I love James Collins, but like Nick said the other day, you bring him back. Time he gets back in training, fully fit. You're looking around January time, so you might as well just go out and sign another.
January.
Look, James Collins give everything for this club, but I think we just need to sort of let go now. You can't. If we're going to do that, you might as well bring Julian Dix back and McAvenny and Cotty. Yeah. You know, you can't. Ginger's. I think it showed last season. I think he's just not up to Premier League level anymore.
The thing is, what I look at it, right, is signing him. Obviously, we've got the Carabao Cup. We're going to be in the FA Cup. We're playing Macclesfield and stuff like that.
I just think this is a pointless conversation because I don't think it happened. So
well, apparently he's been training with the first team.
And
we can't even sign him.
I need to keep himself
He's a
fit.
free agent.
We can't sign him.
We can sign him. He's a free agent.
Free agent.
No, you're not allowed to sign free agents anymore.
Yeah, you can because Yaya Touré's just signed for someone.
Yeah, in the Championship, you're not allowed to sign free agents in the wherever he is. He's gone abroad.
Who?
Yaya Toure.
No, apparently he signed for someone in London.
That's a load of
No,
bollocks.
I think he has got a problem.
Yeah, I think he's gone to
Whoever,
Olympiacos.
but
I don't think you can sign free agents like that anymore.
That's weird.
We'll have to look into that one.
Yeah, I'm going to look into it because I'm pretty sure.
well, I don't know, but I don't want Collins back anyway. I'm not being horrible. I'm just being realistic.
All right,
Let's look into the past, look to the future.
Let's wrap it up there. Right, thank you very much for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV's Post-Match Pint. Don't forget to go and check out all the fan cams. There was a lot this week on our channel. We'll have stuff coming up during the week, even during international breaks. So keep an eye out for all of that. Go and follow us on Twitter at West Ham Fan TV, Facebook.com/West Ham Fan TV. What else? Thank you to Carton Horses.
Yeah, Carton Horses, of course. And was it? We got it wrong last time. It's Metalhead Hammers, West Ham Metalheads.
You're getting it wrong again.
I've got it wrong. Right, Nick Tucker's
Nick Tucker.
Crosshammers.com. Plus they've got an event here.
Fizzy's website if you want your first match tickets and programs.
Yeah,
brilliant. Thank you very much.
Sorry, Nick.
Where's me Ricky Hatton picture?
Disappointed today, boys, but one thing left to say. Come on, your minds.